I know exactly how you're feeling right now. I can sense it through the screen. You woke up this morning with that familiar weight on your chest, didn't you? Maybe you hit the snooze button 3 times, hoping that just a few more minutes would somehow make everything easier. But it didn't. And when you finally dragged yourself out of bed, the day just kept proving you right. Everything you worried about seemed to manifest. The coffee spilled, the messages were cold, the bills kept coming. Your partner said something that stung, or maybe they said nothing at all. And that silence hurt even more. And now here you are, late at night, or during a stolen moment of the day, searching for something, anything, that might tell you it's going to be okay. Well, let me tell you something that might sound impossible right now, but I need you to hear it. This video appearing in your feed at this exact moment is not a coincidence. The universe has been watching you struggle, and it brought you here because you're ready for something to shift. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. But I need you to do something for me. I need you to commit to watching this entire video, because what I'm about to share with you has changed lives, and if you click away now, you'll miss the exact message that was meant for you. We're building something special together in this community, and I have a challenge for us. Let's get 100 comments on this video from people like you who are ready for change. And here's the thing, the universe works through action. So I'm asking you to leave a motivational comment before you finish this video. It doesn't have to be long. It can be as simple as "I'm ready" or "I needed this." Because when you put your intention out there, the universe responds. And make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell, because the algorithm favors those who commit, those who watch until the end, those who engage, those who show up. You'll be remembered first. You'll see our content before anyone else. And we need to hit this goal together to keep bringing you these life-changing stories. So promise me right now, you'll stay until the very end. Deal? Now let's talk about your day. Let's talk about why everything felt so heavy, so wrong, so impossible. You see, what you experienced today wasn't just bad luck. It wasn't just one of those days. It was actually the universe trying to get your attention. I know that sounds strange when you're in the middle of feeling like everything is falling apart, but stay with me. Think about it this way. Have you ever noticed that your worst days often come right before something significant shifts in your life? That's not coincidence. That's the universe clearing space for what's coming. But here's what happens to most people. They get so caught up in the difficulty of the moment that they miss the message entirely. They stay stuck in the loop of complaining, worrying, and resisting what is. And that resistance, that's what makes everything worse. Let me tell you something I learned the hard way. Your day wasn't bad because the universe is punishing you. Your day was challenging because you're being prepared for something bigger. But you have to shift how you're looking at it. Right now, you're probably replaying every difficult moment in your mind like a movie stuck on repeat. The argument you had, the money you don't have, the opportunities that seem to pass you by, the relationship that feels like it's dying. And every time you replay these scenes, you're actually feeding them energy. You're telling the universe, yes, more of this, please, because that's how it works. The universe doesn't judge your thoughts as good or bad. It simply responds to where you're placing your attention. So let's do something different right now. Instead of focusing on what went wrong today, I want you to think about something else. I want you to think about one moment, just one, where something didn't go as badly as it could have. Maybe the traffic was terrible, but you had a song you loved playing. Maybe the bill was high, but you had just enough to cover it. Maybe your partner was distant, but they still came home. These tiny moments, these are the universe's breadcrumbs. They're showing you that even on your worst day, you're being supported. But you have to train yourself to see them. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that positive thinking alone isn't going to pay your bills or fix your relationship or make your problems disappear. And you're absolutely right. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect when it's not. This isn't about toxic positivity or ignoring real problems. This is about something much deeper. This is about understanding that your external reality is a reflection of your internal state. And when you change what's happening inside you, the outside world has no choice but to shift in response. Let's talk about money first, because I know that's probably one of the heaviest weights on your chest right now. You wake up thinking about money. You go to bed worrying about money. Every decision you make is filtered through the lens of whether you can afford it. And the more you worry about money, the more situations arise that require money you don't have. It's like you're trapped in this impossible cycle. But here's what's really happening. Money is energy, and energy flows where attention goes. When you're constantly worried about not having enough money, you're actually creating an energetic blockage. You're telling the universe, I am someone who doesn't have enough. And the universe, always faithful, says, okay, let me show you more evidence of that truth. But what if you could flip this? What if instead of waking up and immediately checking your bank account with dread, you woke up and said, thank you for the resources I have today? What if instead of looking at bills as punishment, you looked at them as evidence that you have services, electricity, water, internet, a home? What if you started to catch yourself every single time you said or thought, I can't afford that, and replaced it with, that's not a priority for me right now, or I'm choosing to invest my resources differently? Do you feel the shift in that language? One is coming from lack, the other is coming from power. And the universe responds to the energy behind your words, not just the words themselves. I'm not saying your financial struggles aren't real. I'm not saying you should ignore practical steps like budgeting or finding additional income sources. But I am saying that until you shift your relationship with money from fear to trust, no amount of money will ever feel like enough. You could get everything you think you need tomorrow, and if you're still operating from that fearful, scarcity-based mindset, you'll find new things to worry about. The universe wants to support you, but you have to open yourself up to receiving that support. And that starts with gratitude for what you already have, even if it feels like nothing. Now let's talk about your relationships, because I have a feeling this is touching a nerve too. Maybe you're in a relationship that feels like it's slowly dying, or maybe you're alone and wondering if you'll ever find someone who truly understands you. Either way, you're carrying this ache in your chest, this feeling that love shouldn't be this hard, this confusing, this painful. And you're right, it shouldn't be. But here's what nobody tells you. The relationship you have with another person is simply a mirror of the relationship you have with yourself. Every criticism your partner levels at you, that's something you're already criticizing yourself for. Every way they fail to meet your needs, that's a way you're failing to meet your own needs. Every moment they seem distant or unavailable, that's reflecting back to you the ways you've been distant and unavailable to your own heart. I know this is hard to hear, especially when you're hurting. It's so much easier to blame them, to make them the villain in your story, to believe that if they would just change, everything would be better. But the universe doesn't work that way. The universe brings you relationships that highlight your wounds so that you can heal them, not to torture you, but to free you. So instead of asking, why won't they love me the way I need? Start asking, how can I love myself the way I need? Instead of waiting for them to apologize, to change, to finally see you, what if you started seeing yourself? What if you started giving yourself the patience, the kindness, the attention, the respect that you've been begging for from someone else? And here's the miraculous thing that happens when you do this work. Either your relationship transforms because you've transformed, or it naturally falls away because you've outgrown it. Either way, you win. Because you're no longer dependent on someone else's behavior for your happiness. You've taken your power back. And when you're standing in your power, the universe sends you relationships that match that energy. Not perfect relationships, because those don't exist, but real, honest, growth-oriented relationships where both people are committed to showing up authentically. If you're single right now, the same principle applies. Stop looking for someone to complete you. Stop scrolling through profiles trying to find the one who will finally make you feel worthy. You are already complete. You are already worthy. And the moment you truly believe that, the moment you stop seeking validation from potential partners, that's when the universe can bring you someone who complements your completeness rather than someone who fills your void. Because relationships built on neediness always crumble. But relationships built on two whole people choosing each other, those can weather any storm. Now let's zoom out and talk about your days in general. Because I don't want you to just have one good day. I want you to fundamentally change how you move through life. You see, most people are living in what I call reactive mode. Something happens, and they react. Someone cuts them off in traffic, they get angry. A friend cancels plans, they feel rejected. They don't get the promotion, they feel like a failure. Their entire emotional state is dependent on external circumstances, And when you're living this way, you're basically a leaf blowing in the wind. You have no control. You're at the mercy of a world that often feels chaotic and unfair. But there's another way to live. It's called creative mode. In creative mode, you understand that while you can't control what happens to you, you can absolutely control how you respond to what happens to you. You can't control whether it rains on the day you planned a picnic, but you can control whether you let that ruin your entire day or whether you pivot and find joy in a different plan. You can't control whether your boss is in a bad mood, but you can control whether you take their negativity personally or whether you maintain your own emotional equilibrium. You can't control the global economy, but you can control your daily actions, your mindset, and your energy. Living in creative mode means waking up each morning and consciously deciding who you want to be that day. Not based on what happened yesterday, not based on what might happen today, but based on who you are committed to becoming. It means creating a morning practice that grounds you before the chaos of the day begins. Maybe that's 5 minutes of deep breathing. Maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's moving your body or listening to music that lifts your spirit. It doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. It just has to be intentional. Because when you start your day with intention, you're telling the universe, I am the creator of my experience. I am not a victim of my circumstances. And here's what starts to happen when you commit to this practice. The universe begins to respond differently to you. Opportunities that you would have missed suddenly become visible. People who can help you mysteriously appear in your path. Solutions to problems that seemed impossible start to present themselves. It's not magic. Well, maybe it is. But it's also just the natural result of shifting your energy from victimhood to empowerment. The universe has always been trying to support you, but when you're stuck in fear and worry and complaint, you can't see the support that's being offered. It's like having a radio tuned to a static-filled station when beautiful music is playing on a different frequency. You just need to adjust the dial. I want to share something with you that might sound bold, but I believe it with every fiber of my being. Everything that's happening in your life right now, every challenge, every disappointment, every struggle, it's all happening for you, not to you. The universe is not randomly throwing obstacles in your path to torture you. It's specifically, precisely giving you exactly what you need to become who you're meant to be. That terrible boss who makes you miserable, they're teaching you to value yourself and set boundaries. That financial crisis that's keeping you up at night, it's teaching you resourcefulness and the difference between wants and needs. That relationship that keeps breaking your heart, it's teaching you what you will and won't accept. And more importantly, it's teaching you to find wholeness within yourself. But here's the catch. These lessons only work if you're willing to learn them. If you stay stuck in blame and resentment and poor me, you'll keep repeating the same patterns with different people and different circumstances. The universe will keep giving you the same test in different forms until you finally pass it. But the moment you shift your perspective, the moment you start asking, what is this situation teaching me, instead of, why is this happening to me, everything changes. You graduate to the next level. And the next level comes with different challenges, yes, but also with different rewards, different growth, different possibilities. Let me get really practical with you now, because I don't want this to stay in the realm of theory. I want you to walk away from this video with actual tools you can use today, right now, to start shifting your experience. First, I want you to implement what I call the contrast practice. Every time you catch yourself spiraling into negativity, and you will catch yourself because that's a habit that's been years in the making, I want you to immediately shift to contrast. If you're thinking, I hate my job, contrast it with, I'm grateful I have income while I search for something better. If you're thinking, my partner never listens to me, contrast it with, my partner is dealing with their own struggles, and I can choose to communicate more clearly. If you're thinking, I'll never have enough money, contrast it with, I have enough for today and I trust that tomorrow will provide what I need. This isn't about lying to yourself or denying reality. It's about training your brain to look for the other side of every situation, because every situation has multiple sides, but we tend to fixate on the negative one. When you practice contrast consistently, you literally rewire your neural pathways. Your brain starts to automatically look for the positive or the lesson instead of defaulting to the negative. And when your brain changes, your experience of life changes. Second tool, the evening inventory. Before you go to sleep each night, I want you to identify 3 specific moments from your day where the universe supported you. Not huge things necessarily. Maybe someone smiled at you. Maybe you found a parking spot. Maybe you had a really good cup of coffee. Maybe you solved a problem you thought was impossible. Maybe you laughed at something unexpectedly. These moments are always there, but we train ourselves to overlook them because we're so focused on what went wrong. When you deliberately identify these moments of support, you're training your consciousness to recognize them in real time. And the more you recognize them, the more of them appear. It's like suddenly noticing a certain model of car everywhere once someone mentions it to you. The cars were always there. You just weren't noticing them. Third tool, the energy audit. Take an honest look at how you're spending your energy every day. Who are you spending time with? What are you watching, reading, listening to? What conversations are you having? What thoughts are you repeatedly thinking? Energy is finite, and if you're spending it on people, content, and thought patterns that drain you, you won't have any left for creating the life you want. This might mean setting boundaries with negative people. It might mean unfollowing accounts that make you feel bad about yourself. It might mean turning off the news and limiting your social media time. It might mean walking away from conversations that are just complaint sessions. I know this can feel selfish, but it's not. It's self-preservation. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and the universe can't flow abundance to you if you're constantly in a state of depletion. Fourth tool, the embodiment practice. This is about getting out of your head and into your body. When you're anxious about money, about relationships, about your future, that anxiety lives in your body as tension. Your shoulders are tight, your jaw is clenched, your breathing is shallow. And that physical state reinforces the mental state, which reinforces the physical state. It's a loop, but you can interrupt it. Several times throughout your day, pause and do a body scan. Notice where you're holding tension. Breathe into those places. Relax your face, drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw. Take 5 deep breaths where you inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts. This signals to your nervous system that you're safe, and when your nervous system feels safe, your entire perception of your life shifts. Problems that seemed insurmountable suddenly feel manageable. The universe can't guide you to solutions when you're in a constant state of fight or flight. Now, I want to address something directly because I know some of you are thinking it. You're thinking, this all sounds great, but you don't know how bad things really are for me. You don't know what I'm dealing with. This might work for people with minor problems, but my situation is different. And I hear you. I truly do. Everyone's pain is real, and I'm not minimizing your struggle. But I need to tell you something important. The universe doesn't measure your worth by the size of your problems. It doesn't give more support to people with smaller challenges and less support to people with bigger ones. The universe's support is constant and unlimited. The only variable is your openness to receiving it. And I know that might sound frustrating, because if you're in the thick of real, serious difficulties, the last thing you want to hear is that it's somehow your fault for not being open enough. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that your current circumstances, however difficult, are not the end of your story. They're a chapter, maybe a really hard chapter. But the universe is already writing the next chapter, and it's going to be different if you're willing to show up differently. Every single person who has ever overcome tremendous adversity, who has transformed their life from rock bottom to thriving, did it by making this shift. Not by pretending their problems didn't exist, but by changing their relationship to their problems, by deciding that their circumstances were not going to define them. There's a concept in psychology called learned helplessness. It's when you've tried so many times to change your situation and failed that you stop trying altogether. You convince yourself that nothing you do matters, so why bother? And I suspect some of you are there right now. You've tried to improve your finances, but you keep falling back. You've tried to fix your relationship, but nothing changes. You've tried to be more positive, but the universe just keeps proving you wrong. And so you've given up. You're just going through the motions, waiting for life to be over, or for some external force to rescue you. But here's what I need you to understand. The universe can't help someone who has completely closed themselves off to help. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because you've built walls so thick that nothing can get through. So if you're in that place of learned helplessness, your first step isn't to suddenly become positive and hopeful. Your first step is to be willing to be willing. Just crack the door open the tiniest bit. Just allow for the possibility that maybe, just maybe, things could be different. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to feel it. You just have to be willing to consider it. That tiny crack of willingness is enough for the universe to start working with. Because the universe doesn't need your faith to support you. It just needs your permission. It needs you to stop actively blocking the help that's trying to reach you. And I want you to know something else. Your bad day today? It might have been exactly what you needed. I know that sounds insane, but follow me here. Sometimes the universe needs to make things uncomfortable enough that you finally take action. If everything was just okay enough, you might never change. You might stay in the mediocre job, the lukewarm relationship, the cycle of barely getting by. But when things get bad enough, when you finally hit your limit, that's when transformation becomes possible. That's when you stop tolerating what you've been tolerating. That's when you start demanding more from yourself and your life. That's when you finally say enough. So maybe your bad day was actually the universe's way of saying, hey, I see you settling. I see you playing small. I see you accepting crumbs when you deserve a feast. And I love you too much to let you keep doing this. So I'm going to make you so uncomfortable that you have no choice but to change. And if that's what today was, then it wasn't a bad day at all. It was the day your real life began. Here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to make a decision. Not tomorrow, not when things get better, right now in this moment. I want you to decide that you are done being a victim of your circumstances, done waiting for someone to save you, done believing that you're just unlucky or that life is against you. I want you to decide that from this moment forward, you are going to show up as the creator of your experience. That you're going to look for the universe's support instead of its absence. That you're going to trust that everything is working out for your highest good, even when you can't see how. This decision doesn't mean your problems will instantly disappear. It doesn't mean tomorrow will be perfect, but it means you're shifting from powerless to powerful. And that shift changes everything. When you're powerless, you're at the mercy of the world. When you're powerful, you're working with the universe to co-create your reality. And the universe has been waiting for you to step into this power. It's been waiting for you to remember that you're not separate from it. You are it. You are the universe expressing itself through your unique perspective and experience. Every moment of every day you are choosing. You're choosing what to focus on. You're choosing what to believe. You're choosing how to interpret what happens to you. And those choices are creating your reality, so choose differently. Choose to see your bad day as a setup for a breakthrough. Choose to see your money struggles as an invitation to heal your relationship with abundance. Choose to see your relationship challenges as opportunities to love yourself more deeply. Choose to see every obstacle as the universe rearranging things in your favor, even if you can't see the full picture yet. And please, please remember this. You are not alone. I know it feels like you are sometimes. I know it feels like no one understands what you're going through, but there are thousands of people watching this video right now who feel exactly like you do, who had a bad day today, who are worried about money, who are struggling in their relationships, who are wondering if things will ever get better. And the universe brought all of us together in this moment to remind each other that we're not alone and that there is always hope. So leave a comment down below. Tell us what resonated with you. Tell us what you're committing to changing. Tell us what you needed to hear today, because your comment might be exactly what someone else needs to read. And that's how the universe works through us, through our willingness to be vulnerable, to share, to support each other. Before you go, I need to know something. What's one thing you're going to do differently tomorrow because of what you heard today? Think about it. Really think about it. Because awareness without action is just entertainment. And I don't want to just entertain you. I want to transform you. So take what you've learned here and put it into practice. Start with one small thing. Wake up 5 minutes earlier to set your intention for the day. Say one thing you're grateful for before you check your phone. Catch yourself in one negative thought spiral and consciously shift it. One small thing, done consistently, creates massive change over time. And if you want the universe to keep supporting you through these videos, through this community, I need you to do something. Subscribe to this channel right now. Turn on the notifications. Because the algorithm is designed to show content to people who are engaged, who watch until the end, who comment and share. And when you do those things, you're not just helping yourself stay connected to this content, you're helping other people who need it find it too. You're participating in spreading these messages further into the world. And that's what the universe wants, for all of us to lift each other up. We're building something special here. A community of people who refuse to be victims, who choose to see the magic in the everyday, who trust that the universe is always conspiring in their favor. And I want you to be part of it. So hit that subscribe button, leave that comment, watch this video all the way through, and then go out and live differently. Because you deserve better days, you deserve peace, you deserve abundance, you deserve love. And it all starts with the decision you make right now. And if you want, tell me from which corner of the world you are watching this video. Your comment matters, and I want to read it and respond to you. For more exciting stories like this, click on the video that appears on your screen right now.